In this video, we will do some College Board multiple choice questions pertaining to sine and cosine graphs. This is AP Precalculus topic 3.4. If you appreciate this content, please give it a like. Number 1. The figure shows the terminal ray of angle theta in standard position intersecting the unit circle at point P in the xy plane. The function g is given by g of z equals cosine z. For the angle w not shown, theta is less than w, which is less than pi. Which of the following is true? Theta ends here at point P, and pi is a semicircle ending right here on the negative x-axis. According to this part of the setup, angle w has to be bigger than angle theta and smaller than pi. It has to be somewhere between these two. Let's call this intersection point Q. We need to figure out if g at w is less than, greater than, or equal to g at theta. But function g is just the cosine function. So really, we need to figure out whether cosine w is less than, greater than, or equal to cosine theta. But we have learned that on the unit circle, the cosine of angle theta will be the x-coordinate of point P, and the cosine of angle w will be the x-coordinate of point Q. So, which is bigger, the x value of Q or the x value of P? Since point Q is further to the left and point P is further to the right, the x-coordinate of Q is less than the x-coordinate of P. Therefore, the cosine of w is less than the cosine of theta, and g of w is less than g of theta. So the answer is A. Number 2. The figure shows the terminal ray of angle theta in standard position intersecting the unit circle at point P in the xy plane. The function f is given by f of z equals sine z. For the angle beta not shown, pi over 2 is less than beta, which is less than theta. Which of the following is true? Pi over 2 ends on the positive y-axis, and theta ends right here at point P. In the setup, we are told that angle beta has to land somewhere between these two. Let's call this intersection point Q. We need to figure out if f at beta is less than, greater than, or equal to f at theta. But function f is just the sine function, so really we need to figure out if sine beta is less than, greater than, or equal to sine theta. But we know that on the unit circle, the sine of angle beta will be the y-coordinate of point Q, and the sine of angle theta will be the y-coordinate of point P. So which is greater, the y value of Q or the y value of P? We can see that Q is a little bit higher up on the unit circle than P. So the y value of Q is greater than the y value of P. Therefore, the sine of beta is greater than the sine of theta, and f at beta is greater than f at theta. So the answer is B. The function f is given by g of theta equals cosine theta. Which of the following describes g on the interval from 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi? I need you to memorize what these very important parent functions look like. Notice that sine theta starts at a midline of 0, it rises to a maximum value of 1, falls to a minimum value of -1, and ends back at the midline. On the other hand, cosine starts at its maximum value of 1, falls to its lowest value of -1, and then ends back at its maximum value of 1. Both functions have a period of 2 pi. So half the period will be pi, and a quarter of the period is pi over 2. So 3/4 of the period will be 3 pi over 2. However, g of theta is equal to cosine theta, so let's focus on this parent function. I've highlighted the interval from 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi. Clearly, on this interval, cosine theta is increasing, it's rising from left to right, and it is concave down. So the answer is C. G is increasing and the graph of G is concave down. Number 4. The figure shows the graph of function f in the xy plane. The function f is either a sine or a cosine graph. Consider an angle in standard position in the xy plane not shown. The terminal ray of the angle intersects the unit circle at point P. Which of the following is true about the relationship between f and P? Remember on number 3 when I told you to memorize these two parent functions? Look familiar? So yeah, we recognize this as the graph of sine x. This part in here, where they talk about the terminal ray of an angle intersecting the unit circle at point P, is just describing this classic picture. If point P has coordinates x, y, we know that on the unit circle, the sine of this angle is equal to the y coordinate. To recap, we were given the graph of f. We recognize that f of x is equal to sine x, and we know that on the unit circle, sine x is the y value of point P. So f of x is the y value of point P. Which one of these statements matches the fact that f of x gives the y value of point P? First, let us choose between vertical and horizontal. We know that the y value of point P will be some type of a vertical measurement, either vertical distance or vertical displacement. It's not going to be any type of horizontal measurement. That's an x value. So options B and D are out. So the only question is it a vertical distance or a vertical displacement? A distance is always positive. Displacement can be positive or negative. That's the difference between these two. And of course, a y value can be positive or negative, depending on what quadrant you're in. So we need to use the word displacement instead of distance. That's why the answer is C. Number 5. The function f is given by f of theta equals cosine theta, and the function g is given by g of theta equals sine theta. Which of the following describes f and g on the interval from pi over 2 to pi? You should be able to draw both functions from memory like this. I've highlighted the interval from pi over 2 to pi on both parent functions. The sine function is decreasing on this interval. You can see that it is falling from left to right. But guess what? The cosine function is also decreasing on this interval. So the answer is A. Both f and g are decreasing. Number 6. The function f is given by f of theta equals sine theta. Which of the following describes f on the interval from pi to 3 pi over 2? Here's that graph of sine theta again. You should be able to draw it from memory. I've highlighted the interval from pi to 3 pi over 2. We can see that on this interval, sine is decreasing. You know, it's falling from left to right. And it is also concave up. That's why the answer is B. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. But also, if you found this video helpful, there's a lot more where that came from. You can click the upper link, which will take you to the whole unit playlist, or you can click the lower link, which will take you to the next video in the playlist. See you there.